Hi, everybody, and good evening. I wish it was a good evening. I'm spending a couple moments with you just because the president of Russia has announced a special military operation, which can be translated into a war, unprovoked, against the innocent people of Ukraine. President Zelensky gave an extraordinary speech a few hours ago, appealing to the Russians. Putin refused his entreaties for a phone call. He said that an invasion was likely to start within a few hours. He was, of course, correct, and said that there was nothing that the Ukrainians were trying to accomplish other than their own defense, which, of course, is true. There's been a massive disinformation campaign against the Ukrainians by the Russian government in terms of ostensible attacks by Ukrainians against Russians in the occupied territories, genocide that they supposedly were carrying out against the Russians on the ground, all of which was completely false. But nonetheless is the narrative that President Putin has pursued. It is not meant to be credible or believable. It is meant to show the rest of the world that Putin demands a sphere of influence and will take any actions he feels necessary to ensure that is the case. I want to be very clear. Over the course of the past several weeks, the only de-escalatory measures that we have seen were the fake news, the disinformation, the lies coming from the Kremlin, and particularly the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, when he spoke to Biden and Olaf Scholz in Germany and Emmanuel Macron in France. He said that troops were pulling back from the Ukrainian border. He lied. He was told the troops in Belarus with the exercises would leave on the 20th when they were done. He lied. That there was not planning an invasion. He lied. That all of their efforts would lead to de-escalation unless they were provoked by the Ukrainian government. They lied. The reality is today war against Ukraine, a cyber and bombing campaign in addition to a military invasion, including the largest cities in Ukraine, Kharkiv, and the capital, Kiev. Surely thousands upon thousands of innocent Ukrainian civilians will die, and the response will be significant. It will not be a direct defense of the Ukrainian government and people. It has been very clear from the United States and the NATO allies that as a non-member of NATO, collective security does not apply and Western troops will not be on the ground. But we will see major comprehensive sanctions in the next 24 hours on financial transactions, on technology access, on trade. Major individual sanctions on members of Putin's family and on top members of the government and oligarchs. We will see a stronger NATO. It will be more coordinated. We will see forward troop deployments, including, in all likelihood, permanent bases in the Baltic states. We will see greater intention of countries like Sweden and particularly Finland looking to join NATO, which the Russians have said are a red line. This is a turning point in the global order as we see it today. The GZERO, which has gotten more and more intense as a reality of the lack of global leadership, facilitating impunity of rogue states and rogue actors on the global stage. There is no more powerful rogue actor in the world today than that of Vladimir Putin and the Russian government, engaging in crimes against humanity, literally as I speak. The consequences, long-term, will be a greater decoupling of the Europeans in particular, taking it on the chin with so much trade and gas and other exposure to the Russian economy that will go away, and the Russians will be forced to be more aligned on their financial transactions and their energy export and their technology with China. A position of supplication because China is more powerful by a large margin than Russia in terms of their influence on the global stage. Putin won't be happy about that, but he's certainly going to be happy about his efforts to try to revive a Russian empire. And that begins with an extended southeast Ukraine and with the destruction of the Ukrainian government. The cost will be immense. We'll be watching it closely. Deeply sad about what's happening today. And I would say the only silver lining is the fact that the West, the United States, NATO, the EU, the transatlantic alliance, which had seemed more at listless, which had seemed more irrelevant and purposeless over the past 2 decades, now recognizes an immense priority of its mission, its value, its alignment. And in that regard, it takes a crisis, and a crisis is what we now have. Be well, and I'll talk to you soon.